Hey everyone, happy Monday. I'm going to pull some cards for us and see what the energies are for us this week and how we can navigate them. Scorpio season, and that last moon was, it was a lot for me anyway. Don't know about you, but I hope everyone navigated that okay. Just gonna be using this deck to pull one card for us, and then another deck. I don't know which one yet. Just in peace. Source, Spirit, what guidance do you have for us, the collective, this week? Source, Spirit, what guidance do you have for us, the collective, this week? Oh, there's two cards, but I'll just take them. So we have the Sphinx, Silent Wisdom, and Satis, I think, Fertility and Satisfaction. Sorry if there are any background noises, just ignore them. The Sphinx, I guess this is talking about, when I look at this card, I think of us being in, or putting ourselves in a position of power. And sometimes putting ourselves in a position of power is actually within silence. And this is kind of like, I guess, within that, reiterating that, it might be easier this week to be silent and stay within that stillness rather than maybe being overly confrontational or even with the words like silent wisdom, I guess like putting ourselves in that that energy of stillness. So as a lot of other things are happening around us, this is where we find our power and where we tap into that wisdom within ourselves. In this actual like position of the Sphinx, if you do yoga at all, and like, you know, when you like get down on your I don't know how to explain it, but it's like that crouching position. You'll know what I'm talking about if you do this stretch. But it really is like a position of empowerment because it's readying you for the next step almost. And it's not like you're staying there forever. It's more of a like, getting down in that posture. And when cats get down in that posture, they're actually getting ready to pounce. And so that's kind of the energy of this card, is getting into that position of power. And I really like all of this glow and radiance that's around the Sphinx, replicating or representing that power, and also like connection to source as well. So this week we might be required to be a little bit more quieter, come back into our position of power, or even calling our power back to ourselves, our life force, our Ashe, our Modi, and entering into that like stillness a little bit more. Because with the Satis card, there is fertility here. This also reminds me of Osun, or that kind of energy or stereotypical things that we associate Osun to. So fertility, and I feel like Source is trying to remind us this week that lots of fertility does come from being in this position. And we can actually find a lot of satisfaction within this position. So even if some of us are waiting for something new to shift, waiting for something new to happen within our lives, or we're not seeing the results that we thought we would be seeing, Source is reminding us to come back into our center, into our position of power. So even when I'm saying position of power, that could be like, what do you personally do to bring yourself, to ground yourself, or where and when do you feel most powerful? And do those things this week, essentially, to center yourself. Trying to think of what I do to ground myself in my power. I pray, or I do my spell work. I will literally stretch, and do this pose. That may even be in the form of affirming yourself, and even just saying, I am powerful within this stillness. I come back into my power. I really encourage and really love like regularly speaking over self and praying over self, like I call my life force back to myself, because a lot of the time we don't really realize how much of our energy we're giving out, how much of our life force we're giving out in each interaction, exchange, conflict. Doesn't even need to be in any conflict. It can just be within day-to-day stuff. So Source is reminding us to call our life force back to ourselves this week, especially if we're feeling a bit off center or like out of control. And yeah, I guess that will lead us into this fertility. I don't know, this card kind of just speaks for itself. It's a flow of abundance and fluidity and movement, which is quite contrasting from the other card. But yeah, I feel like as we're still and listening and tapping into our own wisdom, because when there's a lot going on, a lot of movement around us, sometimes it's hard to actually figure out how to make a decision or to be discerning about certain things. And so I feel like, yeah, especially if we're struggling with that this week, coming back into our power, calling our life force back, to ourselves to be uplifted, supported, protected by Source, by our ancestors, and by whatever gods and deities we connect with. And I think through that will bring whatever it is we are asking for or desiring or needing in any given moment. Yeah, at the base of the deck, there's the sarcophagus and initiation. So this might be difficult. And yeah, testing, challenging might be something that, or I'm seeing like pressure being applied. So there might be some pressure that's being applied to us this week a little bit. But it's only to take us into the next phase of our lives, next season. There's a lot of transformation going on at the moment. And I feel like it's always like this in Scorpio season, or at this time of the year anyway. So yeah. Should I use these cards? No, I don't want to. Okay. Let's pull some tarot and see what else. What other guidance and affirmation do you have for us, the collective, this week? Okay. So we had 5 of Cups fall out, and it kind of fell out like this. So some of us might be moving through some challenges emotionally. This can represent like, big shifts within our connections, or just whatever we're moving through emotionally. I am reminded with this card that you can see like the 3 cups up the top, upright, and then the 2 at the bottom. So not everything, what am I trying to say? 2 of the cups are spilt, essentially, and then 3 of the cups aren't. So as much as we feel like there's a loss and a change that we're going through, even within our emotional body, could be within our connections, things shifting and changing that make us feel not that great, or even feel like a little bit burdened, essentially, or heavy. It's not a full loss. So yeah, I feel like that's something to be reminded of as we're shifting through our emotions and shifting through change and releasing and stuff. But there is an encouragement within this card to release, because 5, as much as it can represent as a number, it can represent like change and chaos. 5 is also really abundant as well, but it depends on your perception or like how you choose to place yourself. Again, as we were speaking before about the Sphinx energy and placing ourselves in a position of self-empowerment. Yeah, so some of us might be going, this is also like breakups as well, so some of us might be going through that this week. I'm even hearing like breakups in friendships, so like friendships changing or some sort of like loss within that. Got the High Priestess at the base of the deck, so there's reminders there as well that within whatever changes, or this can even be grief, that we could be moving through, to trust our intuition, and yeah, I'm also hearing like to respect our intuition. So the things that are coming through for us personally, the things that we know we're meant to acknowledge, move through, it's important for us to respect those things that are coming up within us. A lot of us, or it can be easy for us to ignore what comes up within the change, within the shifts and the pain, emotionally. But yeah, it's important for us to acknowledge those things, trust and follow our little navigation tool system that we have within us, and not ignore those things. Soul Spirit, what other guidance do you have for us, the collective, this week? Soul Spirit, what other guidance do you have for us, the collective, this week? Okay. We have Temperance and the Queen of Pentacles. Cool. So patience, my favorite. Yeah, patience is needed, I think, this week. I'm going to bring this card back up as we navigate any changes, any heaviness, any release, any spillages, like anything that we can't pick up. If you like pour liquid on the ground, you can't really pick that back up. It's kind of gone. So it's important to keep moving. I'm also hearing that. Yeah, and within that, we're going to need patience with ourselves and with others. And I love this card because within the patience and going back to the stillness and place of power, we are able to expand. And I see that as expanding our mind, expanding our relationship with Source, ourselves, deepening our discernment, deepening our connection to wisdom that we all have within us. And I'm also hearing that, to reiterate, we have the wisdom. We have wisdom within us. We don't always have to go searching outside ourselves for wisdom. For example, you don't have to come to this reading to find the answers. You can find the exact answers that I'm giving you in your own time, and connection to Source, because I'm just as connected to Source as you are, essentially. So the Temperance is also about healing, which really, I guess, flows with this card. So yeah, if there are any shifts that any of us are going through emotionally, changes that are quite difficult, or burdening, important for us to be patient with ourselves and allow ourselves to heal. And I guess a way of doing that with the Queen of Pentacles is, I'm hearing like a way to come back into our power also this week is to really tend to ourselves, our bodies. Queen of Pentacles is, for example, someone that's not giving out too much, that is maybe like within the home, nurturing their home. So you could be like refreshing your home, cleaning your home space this week. I'm really hearing, I don't know, I feel like, someone really needs to like get rid of some shit too. So if, like physical stuff within your space, or someone's really needing to clean and clear out some stuff from their space. So if that's you, get onto that. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles is also someone that tends to their home, tends to the body, and also like material as well. So someone that's on top of their material abundance. So if you need to budget this week as well, or if you need to re-look at your finances this week, it's a good week to do that. Even looking at ways in which you can expand in that way. But yeah, Queen of Pentacles is more internal. So even cooking yourself like a really good meal, nourishing your body, taking a bath, I'm thinking of things that I do. Essential oils, because for me, Queen of Pentacles reminds me of Taurus, like the senses, activating our senses. So yeah, taste, touch, and the other ones. Yeah, and at the base of the deck, there's the World. So a lot of change happening, and it's important for us to go along with that change. Some of us might be, the world can also mean that like moving or literally changing positions physically in whatever way. But yeah, recapping, we have the Sphinx and Satis. So coming back into that position of power, connecting to our own discernment, our own wisdom, remembering how powerful we are, affirming that over ourselves this week, and knowing that that's actually what's drawing in this fertility and satisfaction. And I feel like we don't actually have to do much to draw this in. Yeah, it could be a week where some of us are like trying a little bit too hard in certain ways. So yeah, stillness is recommended for us. And then yeah, whatever changes, releasing, loss, heaviness, even grief that we could be going through this week. It's important for us to be patient with ourselves and others. Others might be going through these changes emotionally too. So even if it's not us personally, so important for us to be patient with others. And I'm also hearing nurturing other people, like being this Queen of Pentacles energy that I was talking about before with others if we feel like they need it. So like cooking someone else a meal, or giving your lover a massage, stuff like that, you know. Sensual senses is what we're connecting to this week, and lots of healing and expansion through this patience and tending and nurturing to ourselves. So yeah, I will leave that there. Sending you all heaps of love, and I'll talk to you all soon.